All right, let's see.
What's up, everybody? This is the Dark Urges Man here, and today I want to take you down by the river. Larian Studios has lit the internet on fire with their latest dating simulator, one that gives Super Seducer a run for its money. By all accounts, Baldur's Gate 3 is a slam dunk success, and it's now the highest rated PC game on
Hell
Metacritic
yeah.
ever. There's a lot of games on PC. It has taken one of the top 10 spots for most concurrent players on Steam on August.
I wonder. Concurrent players Steam. Still there. Is number 3. Wow. Holy shit, dude. It's CSGO, which is like, the game on Steam. Dota and then Baldur's Gate 3. Wow. That is so good.
6th, apparently the game accounted for 28% of total player time on Steam.
Jesus.
Pardon my French, but that's fucking crazy. As far as I've played, Baldur's Gate 3 has been an incredible game, and it is very refreshing.
Squirrel might be the single most adorable creature you can recall in all your stunted memory.
Oh.
It would be ever so twee if it were climbing a tree.
Twee?
Do you always take on such terrifying foes?
No studio is more deserving.
I did not see that part yet. Jesus. Okay, I will make sure not to kick the squirrel.
This kind of praise than Larian, who has toiled in the mines
Jesus
for far
Christ.
too long. But we're not reviewing the game today. Instead, I want to focus on
This guy is Actman on YouTube. The Actman.
this small pocket of contrarians still holding out at Helm's Deep. I want to talk about this IGN video. Baldur's
Okay.
Gate 3 is causing some developers to panic. And the video
Okay.
it's pretty good. Wait, is this IGN? Are you sure? It's filled with great takes and actual insight and commentary into the game industry, and not just giving away 9 out of 10 scores to every new release.
Developers should be looking at what Baldur's Gate 3 did and trying to replicate where they can, not jumping up to defend games that are cramming in practices that fans are getting fed up with.
He's right!
But there's
He
this
is
sentiment
right.
going around that Baldur's Gate 3 it's just an unreasonable standard for
Like a lot of people, I'm deeply excited about what the lovely folks at Larian accomplished with Baldur's Gate 3, but I want to gently, preemptively push back against players taking the excitement and using it to apply criticism or erase standards to RPGs going forward.
AAA
1 out of 10,
studios
Jesus
to
Christ.
meet. So we're going to talk about that, because ladies and gentlemen, the companions in Baldur's Gate 3 are an irresistible thirst trap.
Hey.
Luckily for me, I can resist their temptations and quench my thirst with Air Up, the sponsor of today's video.
Nice.
Have you ever wanted to drink
Nice.
plain water but
That
have
was
it taste
good.
like flavored?
That was good.
Well, now you can. Air Up has a specially designed water bottle that flavors water through scent alone. If you're someone who doesn't drink a lot of water during the day, you
I might need to get one of these, honestly.
get a bit dehydrated, or you're worried about artificial sweeteners and extra sugar, this is the perfect solution
Honestly, that might be a very good product for me, because I will drink so much water.
for you. The pods are also super easy to activate. You can just pull up when you want flavor and push down if you want normal water. It's also
Okay.
great if you want to cut back on soda. We all crave sugar, and this is one of those really cool science
Yeah.
tricks that can help you lessen your sugar intake. So
Just prefer water on its own. I mean, yeah, that's I think that's the point of this, because like most of us crave like sugar and sodas and stuff like that. So just tricking our brain, thinking like, yeah, we're drinking sugar. Yeah, I'm drinking some flavored water. You know.
So go order your special Air Up water bottle today using the link in the description and pinned comment. And don't forget to use the code ACTMAN to get 15% off your entire purchase. And thank
Okay.
you, Air Up, for sponsoring this video.
Hell yeah.
Something completely different.
Ever
I love
since
this
the
gif.
days of Horse Armor and Oblivion, parts of the video game industry have gotten progressively greedier as time goes on.
Yeah.
It's something that a lot of gamers are getting increasingly tired of. So naturally, as Baldur's Gate 3 was about to come out, we all wondered what the catch would be. Are there going to be any dumb microtransactions?
That's true. That's true. Everybody was like, surely there's gonna be some catch in there. It can't be just a game. That's not a thing anymore these days, right?
No. There are no in-game purchases in our game.
Oh, there you go. That answers that. No in-game purchases. So, the question, are there any in-game purchases? No, there are no in-game purchases in our game. We believe in providing a complete and immersive gaming experience without the need for additional purchases. Enjoy. I can't see because of the game to its fullest without any additional cost or microtransaction. There it is.
We believe in providing a complete and immersive gaming experience without the need
Hello,
for
Ram.
additional purchases. Enjoy the game
Oh, he's
to
reading
its
it now.
fullest without any additional costs or microtransactions. I don't believe it. This can't be right. Is this the prince who was promised? The game's gotta be fucking terrible.
The prophecy.
We've got
The
to
prophecy is
point where
real.
It feels like in the AAA gaming space, like outside of Nintendo, the idea of video games being complete at release and just a one-time purchase, that idea is almost extinct. Even games that are just supposed to be single player can be completely broken at release.
Oh my God.
Well, with ethics like this, Larian, it's no wonder some game devs don't want it to become the new standard. Nah, just keep pounding those microtransactions in. Just keep shoveling that crap in there. You know what my first reaction is when a new game comes out? Where are the slot machines?
Jesus Christ, bro. What is this?
How can I gamble more money? I think the industry deserves a game like Baldur's Gate 3, and
That's
we deserve
true.
a developer like Larian. The
That's
biggest
true.
problem with microtransactions and in-game purchases is that it always affects the core gameplay, usually in a negative way. Sometimes companies end up implementing anti-player design to then charge the players to make the game better, less tedious, or more customizable.
That's the worst when you have like gameplay altering pay to win kind of situation, right? Like there's some items that you can only get if you buy the deluxe edition. That is not okay. When you get an advantage because you paid, that is not okay. Sure, skins and all that, I feel like that's fine. Right? Paying for skins? Sure, I do that. I buy skins in like pretty much every game that I play. That is fine. I like to have my armor look a bit different maybe, and I like the skins they're selling for real money. That's fine. It's still scummy, but it's fine. But like when you give exactly like you give like inventory spaces or save slots or items that have a perk that you can't get in the game, that's just bullshit.
Think about how Halo Infinite took away your ability to choose your own colors in order to sell that back to you. Like try to imagine Baldur's Gate 3 as a live service game with a battle
Bruh.
pass. Jesus Christ. Okay, well now Larian has to figure out ways to provide continuous content, so they likely come up with easily copy and pasted content and quests for new seasons. You know, how do players unlock tiers in the battle pass? How do you incentivize them to spend more money?
Oh
What do you
my
put in the
God.
battle pass to make it worth completing? On and on the questions go. You see, without a live service or a battle pass, Larian doesn't have to mold and shape the game to fit that.
Yeah,
puzzle.
exactly. They just make the game and the game is good and people play it and replay it because the game is so good on that term. Like you can just keep playing it and change characters and have a completely different story and all that and just enjoy it. It's that simple.
All they had to do was focus on making the best video game possible, and I
Yeah.
think they've done a bang-up job. And then the other thing with in-game purchases is you now have to take content out of the game that could have been unlocked by simply playing it, and you now have to resell it, right? Another thing that really makes Larian's games stand out as RPGs is that they don't really make filler or fluff. Quests aren't handled like a checklist of chores and activities to just keep you busy for no other reason.
I haven't played. I'm still new to. Well, I just started playing it yesterday.
But let's go into this topic of Baldur's Gate 3 being
Or 2 days ago.
so unbelievably good that nobody else can make a game this good ever. Please, please, please put some thought into it before you proclaim this is what AAA gaming should be moving forward. 6 years and 400 plus people with insane funding due to the IP having given BG3 a big boost. It's truly unrealistic to expect this on a regular basis. And then some guy from Larian came out of the woodwork and was like, what funding? Just
Giga Chad move. What funding? Yeah, it was 60 euros, but we're good. I stopped the upload, the download of the game now. It's like missing downloaded files. Well, fuck you. Yes, of course, it's because of Overwatch. All right.
realistic to expect this on a regular basis. And then some guy from Larian came out of the woodwork and was like, what funding? Just to be clear, Larian didn't receive funding from Wizards of the Coast to use the Dungeons and Dragons IP. Quite the opposite. They paid a licensing fee to use it. There are like standards and practices they have to follow with this.
They had to
IP.
pay.
So it's even more encumbering than just making a new game based on an IP they already own, which makes it even more impressive. Then he goes on to double down after being called out. Clearly funding wasn't the right choice of words here. Replace that with budget, knowing that an IP with the legacy of this one is going to sell.
What?
This just perplexes me. Are you talking about the Dungeons and Dragons IP? Because most people associate that with the tabletop board games. Are you talking about the Baldur's Gate IP? Because the last game I heard about Baldur's Gate was Dark Alliance 2 in 2004. I reckon most people prior to this hadn't heard of Larian Studios and had never heard of Baldur's Gate before. What's also
I haven't.
in the situation in general is that people are proclaiming this isn't what AAA gaming should be. Yet another game recently came out that also had 6 years of development, a team 22 times bigger than Larian, with funding from a company that makes
Of course it's Diablo. Of course it's gonna be Diablo.
$7.5 billion last year. And yet nobody playing that game is creating an unrealistic standard. Why is that? Why is that? If you have the tools, the people, the means, and the funding, then you should strive for greatness. I don't understand why people think otherwise. You know, what are they actually thinking? Don't let this become the new standard because we can't make games that good. I think it's pretty clear what the difference in priorities is between like Larian and Blizzard. Blizzard is like trying to make money.
Yeah.
And Larian knows they're gonna make money if they just make a good video game. And you're at that
Bro,
level.
why aren't more games like with that mentality? Like, I get it. You know, I get it to some degree. Sure. You want to be like, all right, let's make as much money as possible, right? Let's do all of this, throw all of this in the game. Get all the money from the players. But in the same time, why not just make a really good game like they did, right? And make it so that they get so much more money. And everybody's happy. Why is that so difficult?
You don't have to try to make money. Just make a good product. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people, I'm deeply excited about what the lovely folks at Larian accomplished, but I want to preemptively push back against players taking that excitement and using it to apply criticism or a raised standard to RPGs going forward. Wouldn't it be great if Bethesda held this standard to Fallout 76? Wouldn't that have been great? What are you trying to say? Stop complaining about AAA game developers that get away with releasing half-baked shitty games? Just accept bad trends and shitty practices amongst the industry? Why wouldn't the best-rated PC game of all time not raise the standards? This is not a new baseline for RPGs. This is an anomaly. Trying to do the same thing the same way, especially without the same advantages, could kill an entire group of studios. What advantages? The advantage of talent? Hard work? Foresight? Uncorrupted morals? These are things Larian has and all these other studios can easily attain. Baldur's Gate 3 is not an anomaly. It didn't just spring out of the ground. This isn't Larian's first game. They've been making top-down RPGs for over 20 years. Baldur's Gate 3 is simply the culmination of all that work, of all they have learned, on an engine they've been working on for many, many years. Baldur's Gate 3 is the culmination of a series or genre in the same way that Elden Ring and Smash Bros. Ultimate were. These aren't anomalies. These are really good games.
That is true. Like, yeah, take Take the Souls games. It's literally similar thing. They are not paid to win. They don't have microtransactions. They're just good games, and people enjoy them.
Games made by competent studios with a clear vision that have worked tirelessly to perfect their craft. They are efficient and smart with their work, constantly building upon what they did last. Larian is super familiar with the engine used to make this game. The controls are the same as original Sin 2. So much of the base work was already done years prior. But unlike Divinity Original Sin 2, one of the craziest advances is that apparently all of the scenes have been mocapped. Whereas in Original Sin 2, you just had to imagine what characters were doing. Again, it's a pretty funny comparison because that's the same type of storytelling Diablo 4 is doing. And then you look at Baldur's Gate 3 and it's just like, wow. But if you think about it, conceptually speaking, the older Smash Bros. Characters' movesets are pretty solid. And most of them didn't need any massive overhauls when it came time to make Ultimate. But you get what I'm saying? These studios work smarter. They don't settle for re-releasing the same game.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god. To be fair, these four are amazing. This one is a really good game. It had a very shitty launch, but overall it's a very good game. The parkour is like one of the best I've seen. This one is all right. And then you have I might be a bit biased here. I really loved Origins because I really love the ancient Egypt history. So like being able to go climb on the pyramids or like go inside the pyramids and secret stuff and stuff, all that, really good. Then you have Odyssey, which was I did not really like it. It was too many it was like too much stuff in it. Like yeah, that's fair. Um for example, in Odyssey, what a thing that happened to me, I was like, I finished this intense mission. I got like a legendary sword. I was like, dude, this is so cool. I can't wait to like use this. I kill an enemy. He drops an epic sword that's like 2 times better than my legendary sword. I'm like, bro, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I just upgraded my sword and now this one is already better than mine. Explain. And then Valhalla came out, which again I might be biased towards it because Vikings and that whole history. But that was like tuned down Odyssey. It was like not so many items, like the items that you have. I literally played the game with the first set that I got in the game, upgraded to maximum, and I was fine. So that one was it wasn't really an Assassin's Creed. It was more like an RPG in the Assassin's Creed genre in the Vikings era. That was really good. I liked it. I really liked it. But it was big. The map was pretty big and very empty. That was a big problem. But other than that, it was really good. And yeah, I haven't played this one yet. Might be good. I should give it a try. Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. Peter, do you know that there's a new Assassin's Creed coming out this year that is supposed to bring back the Assassin's Creed to what it was? It's focused on what the first 3 games were. Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm gonna be playing that. What is your favorite Assassin's Creed? I think I'll say Valhalla. I really enjoyed it. But that might be it because I played Assassin's Creed 1, 2, and 3 like way later after they got released. Like I played them last year or 2 years ago. Which is, they're not like some games just don't age well, right? I still got captivated in the story and all that. But for me, a lot of the things that I like also is like how the gameplay feels. Like story is the big important thing, but also how the gameplay feels. And you know, these being old games, they feel very clunky and very slow, and you know. But I did love to walk into NPCs and be like, "Hey, me fruity." That was my favorite thing to do. Every time I see NPC with like crates walking around, I'll just like bump into all of them and just hear them all together like, hey, me fruity, me fruity, my It was hilarious. So yeah, we live a good life, brother. May never change and may never change us. Yeah, no, it was really good. I liked it. So we'll see how Mirage is gonna be like.
every year or tearing down the foundation and rebuilding it every 3 years. So that's why these games seem so impressive, because to a lot of people, they haven't played Larian games. They haven't experienced these mechanics before. So it feels like it comes out of nowhere. I can't disagree with this one more. Whenever a game disrupts the industry and delights players beyond expectations, it absolutely raises industry and genre standards regardless of the why and how. Well said. We should celebrate landmark titles like this.
That's true.
Greed often breeds complacency, and once the profits start rolling in, you really see people's true nature. Do they want to do as little work as possible for the maximum amount of money? Do they still have the same passion? Does a guy with 1 million subs still have the same passion for his craft as a guy with 1,000? You know what I mean? Larian serves as a very good example to other developers, I would say. This is a great thread about why using a singular game to set expectations for everyone developing titles in a genre isn't useful and is instead foolhardy. This is one of those statements that like 5 years from now is gonna be looked back on as really fucking stupid. It's gonna be looked back on as those people when cars were first coming out, they were like, cars aren't gonna replace horses. That's foolhardy. People that cling to the old ways when something objectively better comes along, right?
That's true.
You could
that's
probably say the same thing about Mario 64 when that came out and revolutionized 3D games and platformers. I'm sure there was a bunch of people back then saying, well Mario 64 is an anomaly. You can't expect other studios to be able to accomplish this. You can't apply this standard to other platformers. It's not fair.
That's not fair at all.
Here's the thing, right? Wouldn't a company or a person genuinely passionate about their craft want to compete with Baldur's Gate? Competition breeds improvement. It creates better products, and we all win in the end. Complacency seems to be what some of these devs are at.
okay. The one or two devs they were quoting were talking about how you shouldn't be expecting every RPG game studio to be making games on the scale of Baldur's Gate 3 because not every studio has the time, effort, or manpower to pull it off, which is a pretty perfectly reasonable thing to say.
Advocating for, or at the very least admitting they work for a studio that doesn't prioritize making good products as much as they should. I get what they're trying to say.
That's true.
Though, right? Don't expect every quarterback to be as good as Tom Brady, but every quarterback should try to be as good as Tom Brady.
That is very well put.
I don't know a single game dev who has conveyed this sentiment about BG3. Instead, I've heard devs ask folks not to use the great things achieved by this team as a weapon to use against other devs. Now, this is the actual argument I think some of them are trying to present, right? Remember how obnoxious the PlayStation fanboys would get when they compared every video game ever made to The Last of Us 2? Yeah, nobody should be doing that with Baldur's Gate 3. The one or two devs they were quoting were talking about how you shouldn't be expecting every RPG studio to be making games on the scale of BG3 because not every studio has the time, effort, or manpower. Yes, but some studios do have the time and manpower. They just don't put in the effort. Nobody is saying Johnny Game Developer and his 2 college dorm roommates should make a 100-hour masterpiece RPG as their first game. Nobody's saying that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of, well, I guess it's used as in like, I feel like these people that complain about it is like it's part of those bigger studios that just don't want to put in the work, and they say like, you know, they're trying to talk for the little guy, right? The little studios, the small studios, but like, yeah, but they can't do it, you know. You can't be expecting them to do a game like Baldur's Gate 3 on the same scale. But like, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the big studios, like the big ones, the guys that have all the money in the world, like infinite, almost infinite resources. Why they don't do that? Why they don't make a game like this? Because they have the funds, they have the manpower, they have everything at their disposal to make a good game. They can do it. They just choose not to. They choose to do what he said. They choose to do the less work, more money type of thing.
I don't think people are saying that BG3 is the new standard, but rather it should raise everybody else's standards, because a lot of other developers really fucking down in the ground, man. CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk, Fallout 76, Bethesda. This is why Starfield has such high expectations behind it, and why it will be such a disappointment if that game turns out to be a glitchy, hidden disaster.
Oh boy.
So many of these other companies have the exact same tools and resources at their disposal at Larian.
Maybe even more. Maybe even more. Honestly, maybe even they have more tools and more resources. Did FIFA change? Yes, it's now EA Sports. EA. No, wait. What was it called? EA Sports FC 24. You can already buy it. Oh, the game. No, it's the same game. Why would it change? What do you think they want to change the game? Huh. It brings them money.
They just make terrible products. So yeah, resources at their disposal at Larian, they just make terrible products. So yeah,
Say that again.
At their disposal at Larian, they just make terrible products.
Thank you.
So yeah, this is what AAA studios should strive to achieve. And it's
Yes.
fine if they don't. But if they try, then they'll probably make a good RPG. Cyberpunk is a prime example of why everyone's standards should be higher. It's a wake-up call for a lot of these other developers, I hope. Larian has had such an underdog story that like it's so cathartic to see them succeed, because
Bro, this is like such a good story, honestly. Like, someone should make a game about this whole thing, or like a movie or something like that. How they're like the underdog, you know, the people that just like had some games, you know, it was all right, it was all good, and then they came out with this, bam, and it just like destroys everything. Like, just annihilates.
10 years ago, they were raising funds for Divinity Original Sin through a Kickstarter program.
Look at that. Look at that.
This is a studio that risked bankruptcy in the name of quality. So at the end of the day, I think a lot of gamers have also woken up when they see what we've been missing for a long time, or at least what has become so rare in the industry, a game released by a studio that has no intentions of selling you something beyond that initial purchase. A game that works and is complete at launch. Baldur's Gate 3 is just an amazing game, and we should all be celebrating it. It is the prince who was promised, and hopefully it sends shockwaves across the industry. Should we compare every new RPG that comes out to
No,
Baldur's
I don't
Gate
think
3?
so. I don't think we should. I don't think we should compare every new RPG that comes up to Baldur's Gate. But I think they should have in mind, what did Baldur's Gate did that was so good? Let's work to get some of that.
3? Probably not. Well, let's hope every new RPG in the AAA space tries to be as good, and that those companies try to
exactly.
be as pro-consumer as Larian. But thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe to the Act-Man for more awesome content. Don't forget to order your Air Up water bottle.
Yeah, if you guys want to check out, it's the Act-Man on YouTube. I'll send you the link. Here's the link for the video. The Act-Man. I watch this guy a lot. It's funny. Wait, I'm not subscribed. I am now. I thought I was subscribed.